Dolores Umbridge is one of the most hateable and evil characters in all of fiction, so it's somewhat surprising that she never ended up joining the dark side by becoming one of Voldemort's Death Eaters. Here are some reasons why she didn't join the Death Eaters. Umbridge already had more political power as Senior Undersecretary of the Ministry of Magic. She survived Fudge's fall from grace when she really should have gone down with him, and Scrimgeour's assassination. She then expanded her political power under Voldemort, while remaining as Senior Undersecretary of the Ministry, and also directly heading up a new department, the Muggleborn Registration Commission, which in all reality held hearings to strip Muggleborns of all their rights, seemingly to imprison them and or cast them out of society completely, and very likely murdering many of them along the way. She also directly took over the role as the head of the propaganda office, producing pamphlets such as Mudbloods and the danger they pose to a peaceful pureblood society, which she wrote herself. In other words, Umbridge didn't need to become a Death Eater because she was already an ally with Voldemort. She was way above any Death Eater when it came to political power, and she was eager to work with Voldemort in a political alliance, as the Ministry's highest official. For all intents and purposes, she was effectively the minister under Voldemort. Harry's observation when he sees her in the interrogation room was that she didn't care who was in power, as long as they allowed her to continue to exercise control over people. In fact, this is what she relished so much about her stint as headmistress of Hogwarts. She could set strict rules and take perverse pleasure in punishing people when those rules were broken. Having power is all that mattered. If she aligned too strongly with either side, she might lose that power when the Ministry ultimately switched sides. Unless Dolores Umbridge is directly approached by a Death Eater or Voldemort himself about joining up, she would likely never join the ranks. During the Second Wizarding War, Umbridge already had the power she wanted. Instead of losing her position, she gained more power. She had the respect of the Death Eaters, and she had all the power she could ever need or want. Umbridge had all of this power without even joining the Death Eaters, or getting the Dark Mark. Unlike Bellatrix, Umbridge never once expresses any love or loyalty to Voldemort. What exactly would her motivation be to get an official Dark Mark that would brand her for life? Just because she's an evil, prejudiced woman doesn't mean she wants to be a Death Eater. Umbridge is a skilled politician. Without anything further to gain, Umbridge would probably see an unnecessary risk. She could enjoy Voldemort's regime without the Dark Mark. Death Eaters are, in some sense, loyal to Voldemort. They willingly join him because they truly believed he was the best the world had to offer, and the best way to advance their own status. Umbridge, on the other hand, had no real loyalty to anyone. Fudge, Voldemort, it didn't matter. As long as her boss allowed her to exercise her own power, either knowingly or through incompetence. She had more power than she could ever hope to have under Voldemort's rule. She had nothing to gain from going any further. It's also likely she never joined Voldemort's ranks because she was fearful that he would find out that she was a half-blood. We know that Umbridge completely detested the fact that she wasn't a pureblood, and given the Death Eaters were fighting for a pureblood society, she probably felt that if she had become a Death Eater, the truth would come out and result in her being detested, and even possibly killed by Voldemort. Little to her knowledge though, Voldemort was a half-blood too. It's also possible that Dolores Umbridge didn't want to join Voldemort's army because of her differing views. Although Voldemort didn't allow followers like Fenrir Greyback to have a Dark Mark or even be a true Death Eater, many werewolves and giants were allies with Voldemort's army. Considering that Umbridge detested many half-breeds that would have been allies with Voldemort's cause, this could have been reason enough for her to not become a Death Eater. Dolores Umbridge would do anything she could to ensure her power and status, and she wouldn't have wanted anything to complicate that, including Voldemort and his Death Eaters.